Hey guys, we're officially a week away from the launch of Awakenings on Xbox. Now in this video I just wanted to cover a couple of little things about the weapons that you're going to get and also the skill builds and the skill setup. Or more importantly, the skill points that you're going to need. So I'm not going to go into great detail until after the Awakenings actually launch, because until then I'm not going to have the footage from the Xbox to show you how it looks on our screens. I could show you the PC version of the skills, but realistically if you want to find that information you can always go and grab it. So before we go any further, I want to make a note of pointing out that Sorceress plays from pre-awakening a lot. Unlike other classes like for example Larn that plays almost exclusively from their awakened state, Sorc requires their mobility and their CC from pre-awakening to be effective. This makes Sorc an incredibly hard class to play. To play it effectively, you're going to have to be aware of how and when to weapon switch, the skills that are going to prompt the weapon switch by automatically moving you into either Amulet or Scythe, and also the animation cancels that come after that. Don't worry though, I'm going to get you back. I'm going to make sure that I cover these things as soon as Sorceress Awakening launches next week. However, until I can see them in game, I'm not just going to regurgitate the PC information. That being said though, in this video we're going to go over the different weapons that you're going to have from day one, and also the skill point requirements, and there's going to be some links to some builds in the description that you're going to be able to get a little bit of a heads up on. So to start with, you're going to do your Awakening quest chain, and you're going to come up to this quest, Sorceress Forbidden Spells. After completing this quest you're going to get 2 Awakening weapons, one green and one blue. Now the blue level to enhance is around the same as Laverto, so keep that in mind when you are enhancing this. There is a higher grade which is Dandelion, which comes from a world boss. However, we're not sure if we're going to have this, so what I'm going to do is show you the comparison of all 3 of them, but then also talk more about the blue weapon itself. So what we've got on screen are all 3 of the available Awakening weapons, or at least the first 2 that you're going to get from the quest and the Dandelion. Now what you'll notice is that none of these are green or blue, so I've put them all for a fair comparison up to try and made them ultimate. Now getting it to ultimate with the 100% stones is literally going to be as simple as about 8 million or whatever it's costing currently on EU. And getting it to try should be the minimum that you're looking to do on day one. If you can get it to tech, fantastic. If not, definitely looking to go to try. Now what you'll notice is, for obvious reasons, the AP scaling goes from left to right as it goes from green, blue and boss grade gear. So the Dandelion Scythe will always be the best. It will have the best AP overall, and it's definitely something that you want to aim to get. However, what you'll also notice is that the ultimate spell of Seduction Scythe, so the blue version, switches from extra damage to all species over to extra damage to humans. This essentially makes it better in terms of PvP, however not as good in terms of PvE grinding. But overall what you're going to aim for anyway is the highest AP. So I wouldn't let these numbers really get in your head too much. And with that being said, if you look at the Dandelion, it actually has a less human damage than the ultimate spell of Seduction. However, disregard anything anybody tells you, that does not make the Dandelion a less viable PV or PvP scythe than the ultimate spell of Seduction. So definitely don't look to go for spell of Seduction over Dandelion because of the human damage. The Dandy will always be your go-to, and that's what you should be aiming to get. But again, until we've got access to the Dandy, that leaves you with the Scythe of Seduction and the Spell of Seduction. What I would say is definitely go for the blue weapon, go for the Spell of Seduction. Yes, you're going to need to repair it with memory fragments, however, overall it's going to give you the best and the most long-term solution to your ultimate Awakening weapon. I wouldn't look to go for the green grade just because it seems like a cheap cop-out. Why would you sacrifice the extra AP and the extra damage to humans, especially when we've got access to Kutum? So in terms of what you should be looking to do on day one with your weapon, get the blue scythe and start getting that enhanced. Make it ultimate and get it upgraded at least to try, if not above. So now on patch day you can expect to see something similar to this. Now I know this isn't exactly how it's going to show in game, but like with the absolute skills, we're either going to get a completely free reset on our skills or we're going to get a reduced version. Either that or they're just going to screw us completely, but I don't think they will, so chances are you're going to be able to get one of these. And what you're going to want to do is reset your skills straight away. Now a thing to take into account when you're developing a skill build moving forwards, You're not going to want to pick up your absolute skills. So these are skills that you've just been using and you've just got used to the extra damage from. However, they're also a drain on your skill points. The priority should always be fleshing out your base build pre-awakened. From level 56, you then focus on your awakening and look to max those, up to around level 60 when you can fully max everything out. You then want to look at putting points into your absolute skills. It seems a little bit strange for Xbox players, but the PC players will be familiar with this process. Absolute skills never should have been in the game before awakening. They were purely put there as a nice little damage boost while we got into the Valencia content. It gave them the breathing room that they needed for awakening and allowed us to more efficiently grind the Valencia content. Now what you can see on screen, as in my last video, is directly ripped from the Sorceress Discord. If you're not already on there, I strongly suggest you join. What these links are to the current standard builds that people use once they hit level 56 and above. It's pretty much a template for what you should be looking to put your skill points into. It's something I'll be covering in a video as soon as the Awakening patch hits, but for the time being, if you want to get a sneak peek at something, this is definitely worth a look at. What you'll notice is that the skill point numbers aren't that huge. This is because all it takes into account is your pre-awakening bare bones and maxing your awakening skills. These don't take into account anything like your absolute skills. However, the level 61 build that you can see on here does include absolutes and ravums. That's not something to really bother yourself with at the moment. For the vast majority of the player base, you'll be looking at around the 58 to 59 level, with those of us that are around level 60 starting to max out the awakening skills and move over to those absolutes. Like I said though, I'm not going to be able to show you these until we get them in game, so for the time being all I can do is provide the links in the description. Make sure that you check them out, join the Sorceress Discord. There are links in the Sorceress Discord for all of the classes as well, so if you do play multiple classes, make sure you join all of the various Discords. Now beyond this, I don't really have much more information for you. In terms of things like armor and your setup, nothing really changes at the moment, and until we get the patch notes and we see what's added to the game, this is pretty much all you need to be worried about. Make sure you have an idea of what you're looking for in a skill build, and make sure you're utilizing those skill resets and you're getting set up from day one and looking to maximize your awakening. Don't forget to focus on the right weapon from the start. You want to get your awakening weapon to try or above as soon as possible, and for the next week you should just be farming materials and not investing anything in needless upgrades on things like an offhand weapon or your current main hand weapon. Getting those to try will be perfectly fine for now. Hopefully this has been of some use to you guys. As always, you know I'm going to ask you to subscribe if you're not already subscribed to the channel. I do appreciate everybody that supports me, and I am going to be streaming again as soon as I can.